Hello everybody and welcome to another one of our training videos. Over the past few weeks we've been looking at different aspects of what it takes to be a leader, how to become a leader or how to increase your leadership skills. We've also been looking at what the leadership traits are that are needed to become an even better leader than the future. On this occasion we're going to talk about ego. Now this has got to be one of the most fascinating aspects of leadership that many of us will encounter. The issue and question of the ego. Before we get into that, my name is Igwe. I have over 35 years experience leading, growing and developing teams across many different markets, 5 in particular across Europe, Middle East and Africa. I've had the privilege of bringing teams together, growing them to the next level and developing their skills as needed. Now, if you wish to engage with us, it would be really great to understand your thoughts, your comments and ideas around the various topics that we talk about, and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any videos coming out. Wow, so today, ego. Let's face it, there are 2 schools of thought. One school is that ego is bad. And the other school is that ego is good. Now, whatever your thoughts are, why don't you put them in the comments below, give me your thoughts, your feedback, and what you think about ego in a leader. Now, of course, in certain cultures, hierarchical cultures, African, Asian maybe, there are certain cultures where ego is an absolute prerequisite of leadership. But at the same time, even in those cultures, the times have changed and evolved. I'm sure that many of you can remember when you were led by somebody who you considered had an ego that was beyond a reasonable dimension. So what is ego? Well, ego, first of all, comes from the Latin and it's I. It's about me. It's about my own self. So inevitably, when you think about ego, you automatically think of your perception of the world, how you see the world, and how you want things to be managed and handled. So ego can definitely be positive, but it can also be very destructive. So I'm going to leave you with one big question, which is the main one here. Do you consider ego to be positive or negative? In other words, as a leader, having ego, is it positive or is it negative? As you answer that question, here's what you need to think about. One of the aspects of having an ego is that on the one hand, it helps you strengthen yourself in times of challenge. So when you're not sure about something being completed, something being done, something causing a problem, maybe a particular project that is going to be make or break. Without a doubt, you need your ego not only to be in check, but you need your ego to drive you forward. You need it to help you. Basically, you're saying to yourself, this is not impossible. This is something I can do. This is something I can achieve. So your ego gives you that indestructibility element, and it helps you push through maybe the barriers that you currently have or feel in relation to that. But then flip the coin, because the flip side of that is ego can indeed be destructive. It can be negative. As I said earlier on, how many of you have been led by leaders or managed by leaders who have an ego that is just all about them? It's about what they see, what they want, what they believe. They are so authoritarian with it that it drives them forward, and at the end of the day, it impacts you as the one being led. But it can also impact you if you are the leader and you use ego negatively. Because believe me, there are people who are absolutely waiting for you to fall flat on your face. There are maybe even people who are wanting to take you down because as far as they're concerned, your ego is debilitating. Your ego is killing them. Your ego is not supporting them in their growth as needed. So ego can be positive if channeled, managed and controlled properly. but ego can be highly destructive because, like I say, the key element, it's about I. So it's not what you're doing for the team that you are leading, or the company that you are growing, or the department you are developing. It's about you. It's your agenda, where you want to be, where you want to go, and you either drag people with you or you beat them into submission to go in the direction that you want. So you have to be very careful how you use and manage ego. Let me give you a very quick and short example. As you know, I have a lot of experience, not only in leadership, but in growing teams. And obviously with 35 years, I've been around the block a bit. Now in my area, whatever I'm doing, inevitably there are going to be people who are younger, who've just come into the industry, maybe just taken over a business. I could use all those 35 years experience and basically say to the person who I have in front of me, if I'm negotiating on behalf of a client, which is often the case, I don't want to deal with you because you're too junior, you've just arrived, you're too young. I want to deal with your boss or your boss's boss, or even up to the CEO. If my ego was of a dimension beyond my ability to control it, that, and I've seen it happen, that is what people do. People in my position will say, no, I don't want to deal with you. I want to deal with somebody more senior, or the head, director, department. I've never done that. I've always sought to help, to engage with the person in front of me, because at the end of the day, they need to grow as well. They don't work for me, they don't report to me, but I want to leave them with the view that they were able to demonstrate their skill and ability to me. Now, don't get me wrong. I've also said to them when the negotiation's been a bit tough, or they've been a little bit difficult, or maybe irresponsible, or indeed rude, I've reminded them of the fact that I could just as easily go above their head and talk to their boss's boss, even the CEO. It's a choice that I could make, but it's not the choice that I make when I have someone in front of me. In the same way that in my team and my department, you've got to look at how you help people grow, keeping your ego in check, but making it firm enough that they know that you are the boss, but supporting them in their particular growth. So in summary, ego can definitely be positive, but more importantly and most significantly, 8 or 9 times out of 10, it is negative and destructive. So look at your ego, look at how you deal with people, look at how you deal with your team, how you deal with other people as well. It's not just about leading your team, it's about how you deal with suppliers, how you deal with the banks, how you deal with other members of the company, other parts of the team, how you deal with your PA or virtual assistant or executive assistant. It's all about how you convey the message and that level of arrogance that you have to keep in check, because it's the I, and the I must not get beyond the we. So I hope that that leaves you with some thoughts and ideas around ego. The power of ego in the positive sense can be hugely fantastic, but in a negative sense, it can be very destructive and lead to your own destruction over time. I hope this has left you with some thoughts and ideas. If it has, then please feel free to comment, share, like, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you can receive more insights into what it takes to be a leader, the leadership skills, traits, and abilities that you need to become even better. Thank you.